Hello. Shays Rebellion, which took place in western Massachusetts in 1786-87, is an important yet often overlooked event in the early history of the United States. In this video, I will discuss the underlying reasons for the rebellion itself, and its ramifications. As far as the reasons for the rebellion, debt and taxes are at the head of the list. In the late 1780s, farmers returning from Revolutionary War battlefields came home to overgrown farmland. Moreover, Massachusetts at this time decided to raise property and poll taxes, which hurt farmers with much farmland and large families. Moreover, insolvency laws allowed creditors to seize farmland and to have delinquent farmers thrown into jail. Farmers began to wonder if the American dream was just a lie, and if indentured servitude or jail time would become their fate. Unresponsive legislatures. Many Massachusetts legislators were beholden to creditors, professionals, and merchants from eastern Massachusetts and were simply not responsive to the needs of farmers trying to survive in western Massachusetts. The court system. Judges were not shy when it came to the collection of debts, regardless of the effect their judgments had on the farmers. In addition, farmers had to pay exorbitant attorney fees and court costs. They began to despise their costly and unforgiving justice system. Recession. After the American Revolution, Great Britain stopped trade between the United States and British West Indies, cutting off the farmers' primary source of hard cash. This was exacerbated by inflation that made paper money virtually worthless, as farmers were paid in paper currency but had to pay their debts in scarce silver or gold. They could not do so even if they had a barn full of produce. And finally, early revolts. Frustrated western Massachusetts farmers had previously staged uprisings to make their concerns known, and although quickly quashed, they did show that when the legislative process failed, actions spoke louder than words. As for Daniel Shay, he was born in Massachusetts and served as a captain in the colonial army. He took command of the rebellion that bears his name in October 1786, and he was an effective leader respected by his troops. Moving on to the rebellion itself, on August 29, 1786, Shays Rebellion began with 1,500 farmers forcing the closure of county courts to prevent further farm foreclosures and the enforcement of judgments for delinquent taxes or loans. In response, Massachusetts Governor Bowdoin used military force against the insurgents, and push came to shove. Firearms were used and blood was spilled. Now, seeking better armaments, on January 25, 1787, 3,000 insurgents under Shay's command tried to capture the federal arsenal located in Springfield, Massachusetts, and appropriate the 450 tons of military arms contained therein. They were able to advance within 200 yards of the arsenal, but then they were met with cannon fire, broke ranks, and fled. This effectively ended Shay's 8-month rebellion. However, the rebellion achieved many of its goals, as the Massachusetts legislature subsequently enacted reforms that allowed farmers to use real and personal property to pay their debts, imposed a more equal and less onerous taxation system, and released most debtors from jail. Moreover, the impact of Shays' Rebellion reverberated nationwide. Rumors spread that the insurgents wanted to make all land in the United States common property, abolish all debt, reunite with Great Britain, or establish a pure democracy. Many feared that insurrections would spread to other states. In short, Shays' Rebellion changed the public's perception of governance by magnifying the need for a strong federal government. 4 months later, the Constitutional Convention opened, and the public got what it wanted with the United States Constitution creating a federal government powerful enough to take decisive action against future crises. In summary, no single incident prompted convention delegates to create a new constitution as much as Shays Rebellion. Far from being a historical sidebar, Shays Rebellion set the United States on a course that led to the creation of a new and unique form of government that has lasted for over 235 years. Thank you.